Show Bam Show.
Show Bam Show.
Hey, welcome to the Show Bam Show. My name is Sage and I'm here with Riley today. He is going to tell us about ice climbing, safety, caves, and I'm super excited to learn from him today, and mental health. And here on the Show Bam Show, we celebrate mental health, what people are up to, startup culture, and really it's fascinating to learn from amazing people like Riley. So Riley, tell us how you got into all this.
Well, climbing. I got into climbing about 6 years ago now. It was something I always kind of wanted to do as a kid. And then when I became an adult, I kind of came out here, like to Banff, and I came on a mountain climbing trip, and then I loved it. And then the next year I moved here.
That is amazing! And now you're here to stay? And what would you give tips for people just starting out in climbing and like all that stuff?
Definitely start indoors, like at an indoor rock climbing gym. And slowly transition to outdoor rock. Like definitely like take courses and learn how to do things the proper way. Like you may have friends that are really into it, but what you want to do is like learn things from like a guide or an instructor, like the proper, just like driving. Like it's best to go for a driving instructor and like don't learn bad habits right off the get.
I like that tip, especially the safety aspect right there, because you've said there's been dangerous things in the past that happened and like things that are currently happening. Would you like to expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, like, accidents always happen, right? You know what I mean? Like, there's a saying that the only way to avoid risk in mountains is to not go in the mountains. There's always risk. There's always going to be risk you have to manage. But it's just good to learn those good habits right off the bat, like how to tie in your knots, how to make good anchors, you know, everything. Just learn it right the first time.
That is great advice right there. So everyone out there, seriously, go for like instructors. I'm even gonna go. Like I'm an indoor rock climber, and I'm gonna like start taking lessons for outdoors. Like yes, nice. That is so cool. What do you think your biggest challenge was? Like, because you've done so many caves and like even in the glaciers and stuff. Like, what do you think your biggest challenge was?
Oh man, I don't have the biggest challenge like one single thing, because it's a bunch of little things. I think the biggest challenge is just, I don't really know. I don't think there's one single thing. It's a bunch of like little things, one after the other, and yeah.
That's amazing. You just keep getting better, and plus the views you must find are incredible. Like your pictures on Instagram are outstanding. Like, wow. Like seriously, anyone that's watching, check him out on Instagram. What's your Instagram name again?
It's Ev Riley.
Ev Riley. So check out Ev Riley on Instagram. He has some amazing photos. Him in the caves, ice climbing. Like they are really cool to look at. And I love it. Basically, what do you do like for your mental health to stay positive? Like when you're stressed out, like climbing, or like to make your day better every day?
This is a really good question, because I suffer from mental illness. I have had some really rough times with my mental health, and when you're in the mountains, when you're on a climb or stuff like that, you really don't have room to break down. But it's kind of one of those, it makes you stronger in a way. Like a lot of people that climb mountains or that climb outdoors, they're really okay with just like being alone with their own thoughts. They're very introspective people. So there's a lot of kind of growth you can do there. But also, climbing is a good solace, like for my mental health. Like if I'm having a bad day, I look forward to it. I love doing it. It makes me feel really good, and so it helps me in some of those really dark times.
That is amazing, and I love how you're being vulnerable and like showing that. Like some people try and hide it, and I love how you're open and just sharing it. Like that is amazing.
Yeah, I really, when it comes to mental health, like it's not it doesn't have to be a 4-letter word. It doesn't have to be an elephant in the room. We can talk about it. It saves lives. It's so true.
And it's great that we're getting the message out there and like we're expanding on that, because it's so important, especially in this area, people coming from away from their homes, and like even like it's amazing.
It is, yeah. Banff's a really interesting place in a lot of ways, and like there's a lot of unhealthy coping mechanisms you can really get into here.
It's so true, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, have you experienced some of them yourself, or?
Oh yeah, like I've really gone through the ringer with mental health, and I mean it's still a constant thing, it's still a constant battle, but you know, I'm always trying to get better, always improving, and you know, I always kind of have a climbing day help me.
That is amazing, and I love that. And do you go like climbing with a team, or like do you like work through mental health together, or do you like try to do it on your own, or how, like, what's your best support system?
Well, I don't really like, I'm kind of very independent in my mental health quest. Not that works for everybody. I'm just very, very like to myself as a person normally. So it kind of makes sense for me to for my mental health journey to kind of be the same way as well.
That is incredible information. And I love how you're taking like action and noticing like yourself, like where your levels are, and like figuring that out. Like, hey, like this doesn't fit. Let's like try and like better, and like always trying to get better and expand. And I love that. And going out climbing, like amazing. Like good for you.
Thank you.
Like that is incredible. Is there anything else you want to say to the audience before we have to go here?
Well, I mean, climbing is an extreme sport, and so with that comes a lot of risk. I mean, that's part of the fun of it, is there's a lot of risk. And you know, with mental health, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of like playing with matches in your gasoline at sometimes. Like, not just, you know, feeling bad and maybe the risk of injury or, you know, accidents, but even, you know, if you're feeling like manic, like mania, while doing risk-taking activities is potentially a disaster. You know what I mean? Like, feeling too good can sometimes get you in some situations that you really don't want to be in. But it's just kind of learning risk management in a really kind of reserved, like taking good assessments as you go, and not just kind of being emotional about things. But it's a good way to learn to do that. And it's a good practice because you don't really have margins for error. But it is a dangerous activity nonetheless. Yeah.
That is great advice right there. Like, I love the advice you're sharing, and I really hope people like learn from it, take it, because it's huge. Like, especially when you're in stressful situations. Like, you've probably been in a couple while you're climbing.
Yeah, things do happen, but I mean, it's you get through those, and you kind of like, you have a little bit more self-worth coming at like, holy crap, I survived that. Yeah! I made the right decisions. I came out in one piece. Everyone came out in one piece. You know, it feels really good. It really does.
That is incredible. And just the relief feeling, and plus the victory, you did it. And like, do you feel after, like, you treasure every moment after more? Like everything you do after an experience like that? Or what do you find?
A little bit. I mean, climbing has changed my outlook on life, for sure. Not that I've had like one of those like brushes with death often enough, but like it does change your perspective. There's a lot of time if you're doing multi-day trips at the mountains where, you know, you have to be alone, no phone for a while. You know what I mean? You get in these situations with these people where it changes you.
That makes sense. Now, like, and unknowns like that, like, good for you. And I admire people like you that just go out, learn, and like just taking that risk, but like just the adventure of it too. Like, I have to applaud you. And thank you so much for coming on the show today.
I'm more than happy to come here. Thank you for having me on.
We are so happy. If you ever want to like share stuff that happens or anything, you are always invited back on the show. Like, we want you back, hands down.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you for watching. Show Bamf Show.
Show Bamf Show.
Show Bamf Show.
Show Bamf Show.
Expanding our community.